Hey guys, I wanted to make this video today because I have recently been going through some stuff that I haven't really talked to a lot of people about, but I want to just, kind of open up about it right now. People have noticed that I have been wearing a bandage over my cheek, and when they ask, I'll tell them what's going on, but most people really don't ask. I don't think most people want to know when they see something going on like this. They're probably curious, but they probably know also that it might have something to do with skin cancer because that is something that is very common and a lot of people deal with it. And that's what I'm actually going through right now. Last week, I was actually diagnosed with a basal cell carcinoma, which, if you're going to get a skin cancer, that's the one to get because melanomas are known to spread quite rapidly, and squamous cell is also very treatable, but basal cell is really the one that, from what I've heard, is the most treatable and less likely to have spread. Even though I have waited a while to get checked, um, the likelihood of it being contained or confined to my cheek is pretty good. I get surgery on September 12th, so I'll know a little bit more then of how much there is. It could be under the surface, more deep than I'd imagine, but I'll find that out then. But the reason I'm posting this today is because not just to let you know what's going on with me, but also to encourage people to really take heed of warnings about skin care and especially exposure to the sun. I'm somebody who hikes a lot. I wear hats when I hike. Most of the time when I'm outside, I do wear a hat because I do have a shaved head, obviously. But one thing that I haven't been doing is wearing sunscreen. And the reason I don't wear sunscreen is because when I do wear it, it tends to sort of bleed off when I sweat. And I do sweat a lot, especially from the top of my head. And so when I would wear any sunscreen here or on the top of my head and it would come down, it would get into my eyes, it was really a mess, and I hated it. It would sometimes burn my eyes when it would get in there, and I just felt like it really wasn't worth the hassle, so I would start wearing the hat. But I should have been wearing sunscreen here on my cheeks, also on my arms, because those areas remain unprotected, and that's obviously, boom, right where it has popped up. I'm also going to have to get this checked because it's something very similar. See, it just looks like a little scabbed up place, but this is the kind of scab that it'll get better and then it comes back in the same place, gets better and it comes back in the same place. And that's exactly what was happening here. What really warned me about this one, unlike this one, is that whenever this one would heal and then it would go bad again, it seemed to have a little discoloration under it, almost like a spreading scar or something. But I did finally get it checked out. And I just want to thank some people at work because honestly, my manager at work, Tom, has been bugging me about it for the past year, saying, you need to go get that checked. You need to go get that checked. And I just kind of said, oh, I will. And actually 2 years ago, my manager, Victor, same thing. Hey, you better go get that checked. And I just really didn't. So if you have anybody in your life who just says to you even one time, get that checked, get it checked, it's not worth it. Because if I would have known 2 years ago, it probably would have caused less damage. When I get surgery, they're going to take it out of my face, and I'm going to have to get partial reconstruction just to make sure I don't have a divot or a hole in my face. If I would have gotten it taken care of a lot earlier, it could have been done probably through a less invasive type of surgery. Instead of cutting it open and digging it out, they might have been able to just do the scraping on the surface, which they did to do the biopsy. So anyway, I just want to reveal, this is gross, but I just want to show what it looks like underneath because they did a scrape biopsy last week where they basically injected right into my cheek some sort of numbing that it was very strange because I was laying down on a table. There was a med student, a resident, and a doctor there because I go to UVA Hospital, which is an educational institution. And so every time you go see somebody there, usually there's a med student, a resident, and a doctor. So at this time, basically they had a resident who was very new and a little bit timid doing the procedure while a med student watched, and the doctor was there telling him what to do. And he wasn't really doing the best job throughout, so I was awake during it and it was freaking me out. But what they basically did was they injected into the cheek here, and then they took some kind of a tool and they scraped the surface multiple times to get off the cells so that they could do the biopsy. And then I remember him sticking his finger directly into my face, I guess, to hold it from bleeding. I'm actually on aspirin as a blood thinner because I also have atrial fibrillation that's being treated. And so that was something they did, but it was very strange having them poking into my face. The wound that was left concerned me because it was kind of like a dime shaped and it was fairly large, but I basically kept it covered with some Vaseline as they've asked me to do, and I'll just show you. It's kind of healing it pretty good. There we go. Kind of don't like that, but yeah, so you can see it's actually filling in a little bit because the skin on your face is actually pretty resilient. So in any case, that's what it looks like, and I'm actually going to go cover it up again. I hate having it uncovered. Probably should leave it a little bit right now. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on because it's something that I'm going through right now and that a lot of people go through, but it's really about early detection, and that's any kind of cancer. I was just talking to my sister tonight, and she's been resistant to getting mammograms, and our mother had breast cancer. And so why isn't she going to get mammograms? Well, I know they're uncomfortable, and I know that when you had a mother who had breast cancer and passed away eventually from cancer, the last thing you want to do is go find out some bad news that you're going to be struggling with something as well. But, you know, until you get it done, you don't know, and it's better to know than to not know. So I just encourage you guys, if you have any doubt about any moles on your body or any kinds of just skin issues, and even if you don't have any skin issues, go to the dermatologist, especially if you're middle-aged like I am. I know I look a lot younger, but I'm 46 and I'll be 47 later this week, and I'm getting up to that age where, you know, things start to happen and you got to be on top of it, because if you don't, you know, you're not going to live that long, full life that you always planned on living. So anyway, just wanted to say that.